Today the book I'm going to be discussing with you is Horrorstor by Grady Hendrix. And I mentioned this in my library haul because I did check this out from the library. So I'll show you here the cover of it. As you can see, it does look like an IKEA catalog. And if you look a little bit closely here, there's some like scary pictures. And then also on the back, it like looks a little bit creepy, and like there's some hands coming out of like these wooden bars here, so it definitely is a little bit creepy. And the book does open up like a catalog here with this, and it is set in a store that is kind of like a knockoff of IKEA. So it's called Ors. There's like the big right here, the big building, the big box building. Here we have a map of the showroom. Here we have like all the different areas, like you can see kitchen, storage solution, children's, things like that. And then in the next page, there's some more information about their products. And in the next page, they actually have like a fake order form for purchasing things. They have more information about their store. And then you actually get into the book. There's that. Very beautiful. Great graphics. And each chapter begins with a little bit about a piece of their furniture. You can see the name of it along the side here, and then at the bottom a description and the different colors that it comes in, the different dimensions, things like that. So each chapter does start like that, and as the book progresses, the pictures become a little bit creepier. I'll show you. It's a lot of like torture devices and things like that. Like, look at that. It's like a treadmill with spikes on it, and like the person's hands are I guess kind of like locked down. So pretty creepy. And also in the back of the book there's some additional information, but there's actually really funny some like coupons for other stuff. So it's a really fun book. It's a really unique design that they did of this book, and that's really what drew me into it. In a nutshell, it is like a knockoff IKEA type store. I thought going into it that it was like the author was trying to say something about IKEA, and everybody knew it was like IKEA, but that IKEA was never mentioned. But in the book, they do mention, like, we know we're a knockoff of IKEA. We know we're kind of like, the cheap version, and it's no secret to the employees that work there and to, the public of what this store is all about. So it's about this young woman named Amy who ends up working there, and, she's really unhappy with her job and things like that. She doesn't like her manager. And some really strange things have been happening in the store, like items are getting broken and just really weird things. So they think, maybe somebody got into the store, or there's been, teenagers, doing a prank and vandalizing and things like that. So her manager asked her and another employee to get some overtime by staying there all night to try and figure out what's going on. So while they're there, things become creepier and creepier, strange things start to happen, and I'll just stop the plot there because I don't want to tell exactly why these strange things were happening or what's going on behind that. I will say that going into it, I knew it was kind of scary, but I also thought it was going to be really like humorous and have a lot of satire in it, but it really doesn't. At least that I didn't find that. It is definitely gets darker and darker about halfway through the book, and then it's just like totally dark the rest of the book, totally scary. So if it weren't for this, gimmicky type cover and, all of this stuff, I would never have picked this book up, just because I'm not a person that likes horror stories or horror books, horror films, things like that. And honestly, this book didn't scare me. It didn't give me bad dreams. It didn't, make me feel like I couldn't be alone while I was reading it or anything like that. It was just, it does have some, like, his descriptions are very good of some really kind of gross things, and I don't like stuff like that. It just like, it made my skin crawl, and like, I just was like afraid to keep reading just because I'm like, what is he gonna like throw at me next? I don't want to imagine these like really gross things, which I'm sure compared to other books they're really not so bad, but just because I never read stuff like that, it was especially strong to me. So if you don't really mind, graphic horror, or people getting a little bit mutilated, for lack of a better word. It's really not so bad, but like I said, if you're really sensitive to that, then probably this book isn't for you. If you, again, you don't mind and you read a lot of horror and you enjoy the genre, then this will be like a really unique take on it. I can't really compare it to other horror books because, like I said, I don't read the genre very much. So, I don't know that I especially enjoyed it. I was determined to like make it through, and I did. And I really liked some of the character development between the characters and how they overcame their fears and had some self revelations during the time that they were there, struggling with this darkness that was there. So that was interesting, but like I said, if it weren't for this gimmicky thing, like, good job, Grady Hendrix. You totally got me with, I think, it's like a novelty book. Everybody wants to pick it up and check it out. So it definitely is horror. It's definitely not, light, in my opinion. But if you like that kind of thing, definitely check it out. And if you've read it, let me know what you think. And if you've read a lot of horror books, let me know how it measures up, or, what kinds of things it has in it that other horror books do or don't have. If you feel like it really is a true horror book, or even to someone who's a horror like aficionado, like, do you feel like this is kind of like a gimmicky thing and it's not a real horror book? Or if you don't like horror, did it get you? Did you feel like picking it up just because it was cool and new and something like that? And if you read it, did you like it? So let's start a discussion in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Those are just my thoughts about it. Pick it up, check it out, maybe you'll like it. That's it for me from now. I'll talk to you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.